Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to be here. I'm very nervous. It's my first time on stage. So first of all, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you to the organizing team. They did an amazing job. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful event. So I'm going to start with some questions that I'm sometimes asking myself. Why do some people succeed and others fail? Why do some people with a really, really brilliant idea never make it, and people that have a so-so idea become like successful companies? Is it the passion? Is it the talent? Is it the hard work? Is it the team? Let's take an example. Steve Jobs. Do you think he became Steve Jobs on his own, or did he have a team? Do you think he stuck with the same team all over the years, or did he change the people he was working with? Did he sometimes feel betrayed by the team that was surrounding him? So these are the kind of questions I was asking myself. Personally, I believe that no one can make it on their own. If you take a successful person, or if you take a person that you admire and that inspires you, they always gonna answer the same. I couldn't have done it without the help of this person. I met the right people at the right time, and they took my business to the next level. So, surrounding yourselves with the right people is really important. But the contrary is also true. We all felt betrayed, we all felt deceived in our professional relationships. And having the wrong persons in your company can also make you fail. So, how do you find the right people? How do you surround yourself with a good team? First of all, I want to talk about the different levels of collaboration. It's like an onion. You have people that are really close to you. It's like the layers of the onion that are close to the center. And then you have people that you're going to work with occasionally. And actually, if you don't align with them 100%, if you don't share with them the same vision, if you don't share the same values with them, it doesn't matter. What's important is that the results is there, they're good at what they do, and the jobs get done. So, but what's more tricky is to find the right people that are going to support you and the ones you're going to spend the most time with you. And then, this is really important to know yourself really well, especially women, because women, I think, have a hard time defining what they want. And it's also important to know what your business needs. Once you know that, it's easier to find the right people that will help you. So, the second thing is don't stay alone at home. It sounds obvious, but sometimes it's good to be repeated. Being an entrepreneur is difficult and it can be isolating. Don't work from home. So obviously my advice is a bit biased because I run a co-working space in Belgium, but I think it's really important to not stay at home and work from home all the time and to go to co-working spaces. There are many different co-working spaces, so it's important for you to find the one that you like, the one that suits your values and where you're going to find like-minded people that are going to inspire you and that are going to challenge your ideas. So when I was preparing this speech in Brussels, I talked to some of my coworkers and I asked them, why do you work from a co-working space? And most of them said that it was a way for them to fight against isolation, to have a space where they feel it's their own, but also where they were going to find like-minded people. And yes, that's important too. So, and also where they're going to find people that are complementary to their skills. So when you are making a team to launch your own project, or even when you already have your project but you think that things are slowing down, it's important to find people that don't have the same skills, the same strengths, and the same assets than yours, and that are complementary to you. It's also a matter of credibility. When you're going to go find, looking for investors, if you're by yourself, it's very risky, because even if you're very passionate and hardworking and talented, what happens when you are sick? When you are in a team, people can keep on doing the work when you are absent. Also, launching your own project is really hard. There's going to be ups and downs, that's for sure. There's going to be problems. And when you are in a team, it's good because it keeps you motivated. Sorry. You keep the motivation, and you can support each other. It's also good because when you don't have a big budget, especially at the beginning, having a team is a way of sparing some expenses. So, one thing that I have observed over the years is that it's best to choose doers over talkers. So the best thing to find your team is to start small. You start on a small project, you see how it goes, you see how you can build it little by little, and if you have some affinity with them, it will go very naturally. I think that's one of the best ways to differentiate good from wrong collaborations. A good collaboration is going to give you positive energy. You're going to get, well, it's not easy, don't get me wrong. It takes effort to be in a good collaboration, but things are simple and they feel natural. You get more work done. There's also reciprocity in this kind of relationship. You can be yourself, you can show your weaknesses, you don't show your weaknesses with fear of judgment, and you're going to resolve the problems that you're going to have face. So when it's in a wrong collaboration, it's really the opposite. Everything slows down, the work doesn't get done, you don't see the result, you have a negative energy, you feel overwhelmed by problems, and you have a feeling you cannot address them. It's dragging you down, and little by little you're going to start notice that you don't have the same objectives, you don't have the same vision, that there's no reciprocity, the relationship is unbalanced, and you don't have the same motivation. And in the end, the numbers are not going to lie. You're going to see that there's less money, less partnerships that you're going to build, less revenue streams, and that maybe you should change the collaboration or even the project. So this is why it's very important to share a vision and values. But also, I mentioned the matter of trust and transparency. If you're going to start a project, eventually it's to make money. So you should feel comfortable with that person to talk about money and also about your expectations. If that is unbalanced, well, then it's a recipe for disaster. So a little bit about co-working space. Actually, I opened a co-working space because I really think it's a serendipity accelerator. So I don't know if you know the story of serendipity, but there's kind of a little legend around it that I'm going to tell you. So there was a king called Serendip who had 3 sons, the 3 princes of Serendip. And their dad, the king, wanted them to go on a trip so they could know the kingdom, but so also they could learn about themselves and learn lessons from life. So here's the story. As their highnesses traveled, they were always making discoveries by accident and sagacity of things which they were not in quest of. They were meeting unexpected people and living unexpected stories. This story inspired Horace Walpole to name the word serendipity, which refers to an unsought, unintended, and unexpected but fortunate discovery and learning experience that happens by accident. Or in other words, the art of being in the right place at the right time. So, my conclusion is that collaboration is not a fairy tale. The co-working space environment doesn't make collaboration work with anyone in any given context, but it gives you the opportunity to meet people. It gives you the opportunity to choose who to work with. It puts you in the way of opportunity that you have to convert into real collaboration through learning, through identifying the right people, and also through failure. Failure is learning. We are shaped and fashioned by our professional relationships. So choose carefully who you work with. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Valerie. We have a couple of minutes for questions if anybody wants to ask something. Anybody sitting on something? No, doesn't seem to be the case. All right, this obviously sounds like a topic that's very close to you. It sounds like you might have had some special personal experiences with this. Could you tell us a little bit more about some of the situations where this whole collaboration thing, where finding the right people was really a tough thing for you?
Yes, well, I think even today on a daily basis, it's difficult to find the right team and keep the right team, or evolving and staying with the right people. But I also think that's why co-working is so interesting. I think most of the people I'm working with, I met them in a co-working space. And yeah.
All right, great. Any questions out there? No? All right, so this whole co-working revolution is really happening, and we see that here too. When you pick your co-working space, what are some of the things that you should look for as an entrepreneur looking to find a new place to work?
You mean when you are looking for when you're co-working shopping?
When you're co-working shopping.
Okay.
Oh, there's actually a word for that. Great.
Well, I think first of all you should meet the founder, because usually co-working spaces look like the founder, and actually even the co-workers are going to be kind of similar. So maybe have a talk with the founder about why they opened the co-working space, and usually also every co-working space have like a focus. And yeah, so you should see if you align with that focus and if that focus is interesting to you. And then I guess the community of people.
And regarding this community of people and the way you work together with them, one of the co-working spaces I was in, when you're there and everybody's super excited about their products and you're helping each other, sometimes you spend a whole day, or after the day, you're thinking, hey, what did I actually do with my own stuff? Have you seen some great examples on how to maybe manage that, or how to sometimes I was in a co-working space where people actually said we pay each other for each other's services. It might end up being a 0-0 game. We still do it to make sure that we actually value the services.
Okay, this sounds more like a statement than a question. No, but you seem also like a generous person, which is also, I think, like kind of the magic of a co-working space is that you're gonna get, but you're also gonna give. And then, well, sometimes there are little rules, like for example, if you still want to make sure you get stuff done, you go in some areas where there's less talking, or you put your headphones on. I don't know if that answered the question.
Yeah, but also, have you seen in your co-working space the collaboration between people? Do they actually do they pay each other if they help each other out, or how do they manage who gets the most out of it?
It depends. It's different. I mean, there are different situations, and sometimes you also see, like, first of all, it's not easy for people to talk to each other, so they usually must have some social events for them to get to know each other. That's one thing. Then the second, sometimes it happens very naturally, and sometimes, like you mentioned, when it takes more time, then then of course it has to be fair, and then they pay services, and then which is great, because then they find a new customer actually.
All right. So you've been running a co-working space for how long time?
I opened the first one 2 years ago, and another one 1 year ago.
Okay. So in your experience, what is, if somebody here was to open up a co-working space, what is like the 2 or 3 most important things for you as a host in a co-working space to work into the co-working space?
Towards the community, you mean?
It could be the community. Is it the physical, setup? Is it network added there? What sort of things are you really need to focus on?
Well, I think the space is very important. Like, the reason I opened the second one is really because when I saw the space, I knew I had to do something there. So the space, then the community of people. I mean, you have to always have like feedback. There's one co-working owner that owns one in the United States who says like every day you have to talk to one customer and have their feedback. And then maybe I also think like before opening one, you need to think really about the numbers. Like you have to have the meter squares and do your business model and see that the numbers fit with with your revenues, and also think about different kind of services. I mean, I don't know about Poland, but in Belgium, it's still very slow. I mean, not everybody knows what co-working is, and so you need to also have other ways of revenues.
All right, great. Maybe one last question is, during your starting time of a company, when is a good time to be in a co-working space, and when is the right time to move out? Is it ever a right time to move out?
No.
It isn't.
Well, seriously, I really believe before, during, after. Before, because I mean, every stage has its own difficulties, and talking to other people always help. Like when you're struggling with something, even though you're not probably gonna share your problems like in whole honesty, but just talking to others, it's inspiring, and you get new ideas, you get challenged with your ideas. It's just positive, and just also statistics show it. Like if you stay at home, well, you're not gonna meet anyone, that's for sure, and you're not gonna stay as motivated, and you're also probably not gonna be as efficient and productive as if you spend like 1 or 2 days per week in a co-working space.
All right, great. Any final questions from the audience? It doesn't seem to be the... There we go.
Yay, thank you.
One of the biggest problems with co-working spaces is it's real estate, and it's really hard to make money at that. So how do you ensure that you can make money running a co-working space?
Oh yeah, I have a mic. Well, that's a good question, and that's what I was mentioning also earlier. You cannot, for the moment, or I don't think you can live only on co-working. So you need to have different revenue streams. So meeting rooms booking, event space booking, organizing events, organizing workshops, like have a content that you want to bring into your co-working space around the values you want to have in your co-working space, and sell that content to companies. Personally, myself, my co-working space is also an art gallery, so I sell art. I also sell design objects. So you need to have different revenue streams.
All right, great. Any final things? No? All right, I think we got the topic of co-working covered. Valerie, thank you so much. Please give a big round of applause for Valerie.